Hello and welcome again. I'm back. It's me. Yes. So today we're going to be learning about measuring and cutting copper like a pro. So what we're going to do first, this is for my students that are going to be attending the wonderful college that I'm at. We're going to pop it in the vise to make life a little bit easier. So when we're popping it in the vise, very important, you do not over tighten this. You will crush the pipe. So just a touch, just to hold that in place. All right, doesn't need any more than that. So first lesson, tape measure and how to use said tape measure. My technique is you hold it on the end. I use my thumb to pull the tape measure down, and now that tape measure is solid against there. Now what I can do is I can then say, if I want 50 mil, I can then mark 50 mil. I can't see properly. There we go. So I want mark 50 mil. There we go. So that's that. Now I know that that is exactly where it needs to be. So first of all, we're going to cut with a pipe slice. So this is a 15 mil pipe slice. It has the wheel, the cutter inside, and then it springs and wheels on the other side that allow the slice to spin around the copper. So this is your center line. So wherever you've put your line on that pipe, this center line on the slice needs to join that. So like that, click it in place. On the side of the slice, you will have an arrow. Just undo it. You will have an arrow on this side. So you can see the arrow there, and that tells you what way to turn that slice to enable you to cut that. So just cut it while it's out. So now that's cut. Now, if we were trying to get that ready for soldering, what we would do is we'd need to clean it. So that copper at the moment, if you tried to solder with that, the solder will not run. So we use wire wool. You might use cleaning strips. You might use sanding pads. There's lots of different things that you can use, but in the college, this is what we use. So just put the wire wool over it, give it a few turns. Make sure that that copper is looking nice and shiny again. It's very important that it's looking new. If it's not, like I say, there's a chance of it not holding. Now, if you look at the difference between the two now, you'll see that one side's ready for soldering and one isn't. So if we're to continue with, now we know how to use the pipe slice, if we now want to go one step further and we want to use a hacksaw. Now, if we do the same again, we'll measure 50 mil. So tape measure on, thumb pushing the tape measure back, and then we mark 50 mil again. Now, what we're going to do this time is use a hacksaw. Keep it nice and straight as you're using it. So blade goes on exactly where it needs to be. Keeping it nice and straight, making sure that that isn't diverting, making sure that that stays exactly where you want it to stay throughout the entire cut, all the way. Now at this point, you might think, well, I can just sort of snap that off. Well, what will happen is there'll be a little divot that will be left on that pipe, and it'll be extremely difficult for you to put a fitting on that. So you want to continue to cut through, supporting that pipe, so and then it's a nice, clean, fresh cut. Once we got to this stage, this is not ready again. We need to do one more step. We need to deburr it. So deburring means you file the ends. So we put it back in the vise, and we then, basically what we're doing is we're taking the edges off. We're making the edges nice and smooth all the way around. It doesn't need a lot. You don't need to go crazy, but you just need to make sure that that stays nice and smooth throughout. Now, if you're on site, what you need to do as well is you use a full round file, and you would just take off the little bits, the little scraps from the inside, because what that will do is that will reduce your flow rate if that was to stay in there, or potentially could come off when the water comes on. Then the customer drinks water from the kitchen sink and has a shard of copper going in their mouth. So it's important that we just give it a quick rub down we know then that's nice and clean on the inside, clean on the outside. We then use the same step with the wire wool. Give it a few turns. You can then twist back a little bit and then twist forward, but just always applying pressure on that copper. And then it will come out squeaky clean every time. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.